Welcome back to our channel, and thank you for joining us as we look at Liverpool's march towards the Premier League title after their 1-0 narrow win against Leicester City. Today we are looking at Liverpool's title charge, which looks pretty much sealed, and we are also looking at Liverpool from rebuild to contenders. And we will look at the smart transition under Arne Slot. We are also going to look at the squad depth and mentality. Today's game versus Leicester City, Mac Allister's influence, Trent's moment of magic, and our eyes are on the finish line. Right, let's dive into it. The title chase seems to be pretty much wrapped up, as I do not see Arsenal having any inroads with these few games that are left, and with Liverpool having gone so far ahead. I think now if Liverpool wins just one game, the title chase is pretty much over. In fact, from today's result, I think the title chase is pretty much over, because I do not see Liverpool dropping points in all of the games that are remaining. And at the same time, even if Liverpool drop a few points and win a few of these games, Arsenal do not have a chance of catching up. So the title race, it is pretty much sealed from my point of view. You might be having a different opinion, but to me the title race is pretty much sealed. Right. I want to look at Liverpool's chances, especially when we started the season. I remember posting a video. I talked about Liverpool's chances, considering that Jurgen Klopp had left the club. On that video, I talked about Liverpool having a stable team that Arne Slot might have to tweak a little bit and not do too much in order to jeopardize his chances of winning silverware, and in order not to destroy what Jurgen Klopp had built. Lucky enough, Arne Slot inherited Klopp's team as it is. The only major changes that Arne Slot made were a few tactical changes and positional changes of quite a few players, but pretty much kept the team as it is and tried to work around the team that Jurgen Klopp had left, which I think was a big positive on his side, and quite a good idea, considering that building a team is a process, and he was lucky to be inheriting a team that is already contending for titles, that has got good depth in its squad, and all he had to do was to implement a few of his tactics and try to work around what he had, and that's exactly what he did. When the season started, I talked about Liverpool finishing probably in the top 4 if Arne Slot keeps the squad that Jurgen Klopp had left, and I pretty much doubted if they would contend for the title. I thought they would finish in the top 4, but never thought they would contend for the title. The reasons being that, of course, Arne Slot was inheriting a good team, but nobody knew what he was going to do to the team he was inheriting, or if he was going to bring in a lot of players that would suit his own style. But surprise, surprise, Arne Slot kept the same team and worked around it, and today we are talking about league champions. We are talking about a team that might lift the trophy this season. The rebuilding process was smooth. The transition, because Arne Slot never changed a lot of things that Jurgen Klopp had done, was so smooth that it was hardly noticeable. Only a few tactical decisions were made by Arne Slot, and a few changes on player positions were made by Arne Slot, which made the transition to be very, very smooth, and that was positive for Arne Slot. Right, looking at the squad, Klopp left a squad that had a lot of depth in it. However, Arne Slot worked around that squad and made quite a few tactical masterstrokes. One of those being the switch of Gravenberch, who we never thought would command a position in the starting lineup and be a top contender for each and every game. That was a tactical masterstroke that has left a lot of people amazed, as Gravenberch has managed to rise above his shoulders and make himself count. Arne Slot also switched a few things that a lot of people never noticed. His attacking football is a bit different from what Jurgen Klopp had. Klopp preferred more possession and playing more on the wings, whereas Arne Slot's team is good from both breaking from the wings and breaking from the middle of the park, with a good defense splitting passes that are coming through the middle of the park, and with quite a few good runs that are penetrating from the middle of the defense. Whereas previously the club used to keep more possession and was content with cycling the ball to the wings and trying to break through the wings. That is a big switch that Arne Slot made, which has seemingly paid off because his team has gotten quite a few goals from playing directly from the middle of the defense with quite good defense splitting passes. The squad has got a lot of depth, with even players that are on the bench making themselves count every time they come in. One thing that has lacked a bit in Arne Slot's approach is that he seems to be more content on using the same players more often than I think he should, as some of these players eventually are seeing signs of being tired. Their legs are getting tired. The season has been too long for them. Whereas the difference between Klopp and Arne was that Klopp used to use all his players. He trusted them all, and he counted on all of them to carry the club's weight. It's a bit different this time around. Arne seems to be one coach who is more content on using the same players. I hope this is because he feels it gives more cohesion, and more often it has brought in some good results. Well, despite the fact that the team is looking a bit tired, I think Arne Slot has done very well so far. Right, let's move on to today's game, which Alexander-Arnold just appeared from Norway and stole the game right from the Leicester City's mouth towards the dying minutes of the game. In today's game, Liverpool looked solid. They played well, but I know a lot of people will say Liverpool seems to be dropping a lot of its steam, but it's not dropping of the steam. I think it's more of other clubs getting stronger and wanting to finish stronger as we are marching towards the end of this season. Every club wants to consolidate its position. The top 5 want to consolidate their positions for the Champions League, and other clubs are also fighting to finish in the top 8, and some fighting to avoid relegation. That means matches are no longer easy. There is nothing called an easy match nowadays. Each and every club has improved. Clubs pretty much know each other's tactical strength, and therefore all matches are becoming very difficult, not only for Liverpool but for each and every club, as we have witnessed quite a lot of so-called big name teams losing and dropping points. Liverpool was solid today. They pretty much kept their defense solid as always. Tried by all means to penetrate Leicester's defense, but Leicester seemed to be a bit solid as well, but Liverpool had quite a number of chances that I think should have counted, and they could have gotten something to get into the second half with a lead at least. It was a tight game. In this game, like the past few games, I want to single out Alexis Mac Allister. This player has been a phenomenal player. His strength is unbelievable. His work rate is unbelievable. In each and every match that he plays, he has shown hunger for success. And I think Mac Allister is one of the players that Arne Slot has really counted on, and he has indeed delivered the results. To me, he is pretty much man of the match, regardless of that beautiful stunning goal by Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think Alex Mac Allister really made himself count in today's game. He has worked hard for the entire season, and his work rate has not dropped. Of course, the whole team seems to sort of have dropped their work rate, which I do not really think they have. I think a lot of clubs have upped their game, and the league title isn't as easy as people thought it would be. A lot of clubs have improved. A lot of clubs are fighting for positions, are fighting to cement their positions at the end of the season, are fighting to finish in a respectable position at the end of the season. So likewise, Liverpool has found the going getting tough, especially in the last games, which they have fought hard to grind the results. Right, I want us to move on to Trent's magical moment, where we thought Liverpool was heading for maybe a draw until Trent Alexander-Arnold pulled a stunning surprise goal that showed that when he came in, he was hungry for the game. Remember, this is a player that was on the sidelines due to injury, and there was a lot of doubt as to whether he will come in and make a difference. But true to his values, he came in and made himself count. Besides the stunning goal, he made about 2 or so deliveries that I thought were going to be game changers, and indeed, Trent Alexander-Arnold came in and made himself count. Now, every eye is on the finish line as the league is winding to a stop, and I don't think there is any other team that has cemented its slot at the top like Liverpool has done. Of course, Arsenal are trying their best, but to me, the race is pretty much sealed and Liverpool has walked away with the trophy. Looking at the log tables, Liverpool are on top with 79 points, followed by Arsenal, who I think by now are pretty much runners-up for the 2024-25 season, followed by Newcastle on 59, Man City on 58, Chelsea on 57. Those are the top 4 who are fighting for the Champions League slots. Closely following Chelsea, but with less goal differences, are Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa. So any of the two can cause an upset if Chelsea does not keep winning the remaining games. At the bottom of the log, I think the story down there is also pretty much obvious. I do not see Ipswich and Leicester City causing any major harm to West Ham, who seem to be safe by now with 36 points, followed by Ipswich, who are sitting on 21 points. And the bottom 2 being Leicester City and, of course, Southampton. I think the story there is sealed. Ipswich, Leicester City, and Southampton are going down. I tried to make my own ratings from what I saw from today's game, which a lot of people might think was not as intense as expected, but I think the intensity remains the same. The difference is that a lot of teams have upped their games, And of course, yes, Liverpool players might be running out of steam a bit, but I think the intensity of the game is because other teams have upped their game. Right, starting with Mac Allister, I gave him a 7, and followed by Conrad Bradley, 7 out of 10. Ibrahim Konat, who I think played very well in this game, I gave him an 8. Virgil van Dijk, who's partnering Ibrahim at the back, not much to blame on Virgil. He is sitting at a good 7.5. Followed by Kostas Tsimikas. I also think the young man worked very well in this game, and I gave him a 7.5. Ryan Gravenberch, yes, he works hard. Yes, he has made things look good for Liverpool. But today, I don't think he made too much of an impact, though he really played well. I gave him a 7. Mac Allister, who I think is my man of the match, is sitting at 8, with Mohamed Salah at 7.5, Szoboszlai at 7, Cody Gakpo. I don't think he made such an impact in this game. I was expecting a lot from him, especially the fact that he started the game. I was expecting a lot of both from him and Luis Diaz, and up front Diogo Jota. I pretty much gave all of them a 6 because I don't think they really made an impact that I was expecting from them. And on the bench, Trent came in, showed a few quality deliveries, a few quality touches, and sealed the game with a brilliant strike that caught Leicester City by surprise. I gave him a 7.5. Harvey Elliott, not much to write about Harvey. I gave him a 6, and nothing for Curtis Jones, as I think he just came in to wind down the clock to help the club to maintain its lead. Thank you very much, folks, for tuning in to today's analysis, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell.